Hey, welcome to Worship Tutorials. My name is Brian. I am joined by the Bradford Mitchell.
Hello.
And today we are going to talk a little bit about a question that I think gets asked a lot, and that I think is just good food for discussion for worship leading, and that is what key should I sing songs in? So Bradford and I were talking about this just a moment ago, and you had a good idea, some thoughts about a specific point in the service being the opening song. So Bradford, what are your thoughts?
I think you should always sing a song in the key of H, regardless. Each song is different, obviously, and each church is different. Each service you're going to do is going to be different as well. You know, maybe for a Good Friday service, you're going to start a lot quieter. But if you're going to start a service loud and energetic and engaging and trying to get people excited about worship and clapping and motivated to continue worshiping, I really think that it works best to kind of just pick a song that you can kill it, like you can knock it out of the park. And I know that may seem a little contradictory to what some people may think, because worship shouldn't be about us, and I'm not saying that's what it should be about by doing that. But what I think it does is it lets your people warm up, and you're able to sing a song and feel comfortable, feel great. It keeps higher energy. And actually, you know, I can't find the source. I could probably try, but I read somewhere people are either asking Chris Tomlin directly, or someone just said it, and Chris Tomlin's answer for why his songs tend to be so high. First off, I mean, when he's doing a recording, most people pick their best key for a recording, but when he's doing live, even he does it because it gets the crowd singing real loud. You know, even if a song's too high, people are still going to try to sing it.
Yeah.
And that energy, you can't fake that. But making people sing loud, and you sing loud, and just you feeling your best about a song, and your team feeling best about a song, straight out the gate, it's just everybody's going to feel stoked, excited, blood's going to be pumping, and everybody's going to be ready to worship. And you know, like I said, different times for that. You know, different services may not be appropriate, different parts of the service. But I mean, I really think that that's going to make your worship service start off with a great step and get everybody excited about being there each week.
I think the basic question that comes up to me a lot is with the understanding that often the songs that we sing, or the key that you hear on the album, is way too high for most people to sing. And the question often becomes then, do I sing it in a key that's easiest for my congregation to sing? Or do I sing it in a key where it fits my voice better, and or the worship leader's voice the best? And I think usually the assumption is where the key where it fits the worship leader's voice best is too high for the congregation still. But I want to talk about two different questions. Is one, should I sing the song exactly the same key as on the album? And on that question, I say almost equivocally no. That should not be the point to do that. I think that you as if you're the vocalist, I think that the first thing you should do is to discover your range. And it can be as easy as sitting down on a piano and singing the notes as you go up the chromatic scale, and figure out which one is at the top and which one is at the bottom. And I
haven't done that in a long time. Even I don't remember where I am.
Yeah, I did that recently, and I can't remember what it is.
I need to do that.
It can be a humbling experience.
I sing loud, I know that.
Loud? Okay.
That's about all I got.
Yeah. Bradford's an awesome vocalist. He sells them. He's humble. But Bradford is a killer vocalist. So what I usually suggest doing when you're looking for a song, if it's too high for you to sing in the album key, you absolutely should not sing it in that key. The only reason you would do that, I can't think of a reason why you'd do that. And the only argument that I can think of for doing it is to hurt yourself, or to sing flat, and that's never what you want to do. So people who argue that you should always do the song in the same key as the album, I've actually come across that a time or two before. That argument doesn't, I could say not nice things about that. Well, I disagree. Let's move on. So the next thing I think you should do is find where the highest point of the song is just under the top of your range. I don't think it's smart to sing at the very top of your range consistently.
No.
And,
especially if you got 4 other songs to sing in a service.
Yeah, and then if you have like
multiple services,
and
you probably rehearse Sunday morning too,
or a run through or something.
Yeah.
You don't want to be tired vocally and trying to top out your range. The chances of you going flat typically are going to be good, or just not hitting it and hurting yourself. That's also no good.
I've had that happen.
Yeah, I think I have too. So I like to, if I'm gonna pick a song if I'm gonna pick a key of a song, I like to sing it and find the highest point of the song, which is usually somewhere in the chorus or the bridge, and make sure that it's just under the top of my range, that I can sing it comfortably. But something happens when you sing toward the top of your range, and it's not just being high. There's energy in your voice that is not there when you're lower in your range, and that energy is really, really important. And it brings up the second point of this discussion, where do I sing it where it fits me as the vocalist best, or where it fits the congregation? I tend to land on the side of where it fits you as the vocalist best, because having that energy in the song is important, and I think that draws people in as much as having it in a key where they can sing. And the reality is, there are so many people in your congregations that have so many varied ranges that it's going to be hard for you to know where that is. I mean, typically you can say, okay, if I'm singing this song, if you're the worship leader and you're like, this song is high, and you're a male worship leader, this is high. Well, most of the men in your congregation are not going to be able to sing it. But even if it's not that high, I think most of them aren't going to be able to sing it.
Yeah, or they don't want to sing it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Many reasons why.
Yeah, and so I personally land on the side of singing it in the key that fits you the most, that fits you best, is typically the best idea. That's what I do personally, and really the vocal in the song and worship music is the most important piece of the song.
Indeed.
And the energy that comes through. So if you think about different instruments and the energy that they bring, like if you hit an overdrive on your guitar, you're bringing more energy and more volume. But the vocal being the prominent instrument of the mix, basically, being able to crank the energy and the intensity up of your voice, of your instrument, is a really important and powerful thing to do that I believe will draw people into worship as much as trying to find a key that accommodates people.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, side note on all this, picking a key also you should look at your musicians. If you have a key that you think feels great, and the song's originally in, let's say it's in G, and you think it's a little too high, you're kind of in an interesting spot, because if you want to take it lower, you have to get past F sharp and F to get to E. And E may be way too low, and nobody likes to play an F or F sharp. So
F
there's
is not as
another
bad
thing.
as F sharp.
F is not as bad. However,
We do a lot of songs in F these days.
it seems more and more.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, keep that in mind too. Like,
Yeah.
changing keys. Now, it can be easy, and it can be hard, both. But changing keys, also keep in mind that your band's probably going to play better if the song is in G, or if the
Or
song
A
is
or
in
D.
A, or right. So take that into consideration, because you want it to sound great and you want to feel great singing it.
Yeah.
If you do need to change it, Planning Center actually does a phenomenal job
Yes.
of tuning songs
Transposing.
down, so you can give your band the exact right key for them to practice along to. Changing a chord chart can be as simple as just finagling a G down to a different note or whatever you're doing. But I think that's something to, like, don't be afraid to do it, because I didn't know that existed for a while. Like,
In Planning Center?
And it actually works very well, and it
Yeah.
sounds great. Now, if you're trying to take a female-led song and you're trying to make it so a male can sing it, which I think is fun. That's another side note
Yeah.
too. Like, switching that up, people are like, "What? I know this
That
song."
gives a song just a complete new
New life. We do
Life,
Wake.
yeah.
Every once in a while I do Wake in the key of B and I sing it. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. It's a lot of fun. But that tuning feature is awesome.
Yeah.
And it does great things. And just
And it'll do it with chord charts too. If you put the chart,
Yeah,
in
if you
together,
put it
if
in
you use
the
the
right
chart
setup.
functionality of Planning Center and the song, and basically you just add a new key and it auto transposes
yeah.
everything.
I would double check, but I think you should be checking everything you post for your band anyways. But I mean, that's kind of just all in addition to what Brian is saying. I mean, I would that's kind of my big thing, is if I'm going to change the key of a song, I'm going to think about where it needs to go and what key that's going to be in and how difficult it could be to add those chords. Even for me as a worship leader, I don't want to have to think about what chords are in the key of F sharp. I like sticking to the standard A, B, C, D, E, and G. F's not my favorite, but A, B, C, D, E, and G, those
Yes.
keys are like money, and there's accidentals and there's sharps, flats, what
Yes.
have you. But I think it's a lot easier to play in that. And
that's
so
a good point.
That's a big thing for me. And that's kind of where I land more so than how's it feel on my voice. But I mean, typically, song, like I said, if a song's up there in range, I probably don't want to be, you know, the song after the message where everybody's trying to engage in worship in a completely different way than the front of the service. Yeah. And I don't want people to feel like they have to be screaming at the top of their lungs to sing How He Loves actually is a great one to keep it up. I don't want people to have to be screaming at the top of their lungs to sing Glorious Ruins maybe, or to sing something that's really introspective and really worshipful. Yeah. So Brian and I are very similar in that regard. We both pick keys that suit our voices, but neither one of us have super low or super high ranges. If you're David Phelps and you can sing...
If you don't know who David Phelps is, look that guy
Stop what you're doing right now.
Oh, man. Listen to him sing Oh Holy Night.
Yes, I was just about to say that. The exact thing.
Yes.
If you're David Phelps and you sing that high, you should probably get up with the Gaithers. They'd probably like to have you.
Well, I think he does.
What's that?
Doesn't he go with travel with them?
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you can sing like David Phelps...
Oh, if you can sing like
David Phelps.
I was assuming you were saying if you are David Phelps.
If you are David Phelps.
If you're
watching our video, David Phelps.
I'd love to meet you.
Hello.
Please email me.
Email me.
I'd just like to tell you that you are probably one of the best vocalists I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's true.
Okay. I think another point with what keys to sing songs in is what do you have on stage as far as a band goes. If you have a large band that has a lot of instruments that can bring a lot of energy, it's a lot easier to sing higher, in my experience. Like you got drums, guitars, everything else. It's easier to hit high notes. There's a lot of energy in the room coming on stage and stuff. If it's you on acoustic guitar by yourself with some pads maybe, I tend to key those songs down like a whole step at least. Yeah. Like if I'm going to do a song in the key of A with a full band, if I'm going to do it by myself on acoustic, I'll do it in the key of G. It's just because it's a mellower moment and feel. And so that's another thing to kind of keep in mind is match the key to the vibe of the service that you've got going on. So like Bradford said earlier, every song is different, every church is different, every worship leader is different. There really isn't a hard and fast answer to this question. But I hope the thoughts that Bradford and I have shared help give you some insight in decision making when you go to look about what keys to do songs in. Just a final note, if you don't know how to transpose songs into different keys or like take a chord chart and transpose it up or down, that is a skill that will serve you well, especially if you're a worship leader or a band leader, like that. It will just make it so much more versatile for you. So we'd encourage you to do that. We have some resources at Worship Tutorials that show you how to do that. In fact, there's a video about transposing songs, and that stuff's all free and available to you. So check that out if that's something that you'd like to learn how to do. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.